Good morning, Internet fans. Ryan Perry, Simple Biz Support. Today is Wednesday, March 16th. Therefore, it is Internet Social Media Wednesday. It's the simple things in life that I have a tendency of screwing up on. As you know from last week, we have Sarah Pravaro with Giametti Marketing, who is my social media expert. Actually, it's Sarah Giametti with Pravaro Marketing. She is the person that I call upon whenever I have questions. When my clients say, hey, I need social media engagement, Sarah is the person that I go to. And today, Sarah, on the social media front, we're going to be talking about Instagram.
We are. We're going to talk about 8 mistakes to avoid on your Instagram account. And this is obviously more directed towards a business account. So not necessarily your professional or your personal. God, you got me all tongue-tied.
Hi.
On your personal side, kind of anything goes. You can do whatever you want. But on the business account, the followers are hopefully going to turn into customers, or some of them are. So you definitely want to make sure you're staying within your brand on Instagram. And so we're going to go over some mistakes to avoid on your business Instagram account so that you have a good, clean strategy that helps you grow your business and your customer base.
All right, perfect. Let's just go through the list and start with number 6.
Yeah, we'll totally start with number 6. So the very first thing is setting your account to private. You have a business Instagram account. The whole point is to be social. Let people be social. Don't have it on private. Don't force them to wait for your approval to see your stuff. That kind of defeats the purpose.
So if it's private, then only the people that are friends with you or Instagrammers with you can actually see your content versus being shared to the public.
Correct. And if someone requests, they have to request permission. You have to give them permission to see their stuff versus if they're coming to follow you and they're engaged at that moment, you want them to be able to see everything that you're doing so they're more likely to stay a follower and engage with the pictures that you've already posted.
Okay, and then let me ask you this. The default setting would be public, I'm assuming, so you'd have to manually shut it down.
It's been so long since I've set them up, I don't recall which one's the default. But yeah, you have to manually choose to be private or not, so just make sure you're not a private account.
Okay, perfect. I think that one's kind of common sense, so let's not beat it up and move on to number 2.
The number 2 is posting random photos or videos. So again, this is your business account. You definitely want to be social and have the personality of your brand and your people come through, but you don't want to have it overwhelmingly the random pictures like that of bring the dog to work day or you're at the beach. We're here in wine country. We see that a lot, people out at the vineyards. You don't want it to be overwhelmingly random. You want to make sure you have a strategy. You've got pictures that go along with your brand, that you've got quotes or sayings, pictures of in the office, people working, meetings, whatever goes along with what you're doing. You want to make sure there's a healthy dose of that in there, and the random ones are few and far between.
Right, and I think part of that is also being aware of who your core audience is and understanding what it is that they're interested in. So, as an example, for me, one of the things I'm targeting is small business owners, entrepreneurs. So it's not always going to be just talking about internet marketing, vlogging, social media, but I want to incorporate other content that other business owners are dealing with, whatever the frustrations are of wearing multiple hats, how to, finance or be smart with your financials and those type of things. That's not going to be 80% of what I do, but it is going to be a mix because it's still a core part of what my community needs as far as information.
Right. And one of the other ones we're going to get to, we'll touch on like knowing what your customer base and your followers are interested in so that you can tie that in as well as part of your strategy. But definitely, we both target small businesses, and I don't post everything about, especially on other platforms, everything isn't all about marketing because you want to be a well-rounded expert. You want to be the go-to person that they come to for looking for information. And if you give them a lot of useful information, it adds to their expertise, the validity of what you're doing, and the trust factor.
All right, perfect. Makes sense.
So next on the list is low quality photos. This is kind of a no-brainer also. Make sure it's a good photo. Make sure people can tell what's in it. If it's blurry or too dark or you can't figure out I saw one recently. Someone posted, and it was a picture of a bird in front of the tree, and I had to really look at it. I couldn't. What she wrote didn't go along with what I was seeing in the picture. So you want to make sure that the message is clear in both the picture and the words, and that they're cohesive.
Totally makes sense. And just realize if you don't understand photo sizes, there are plenty of blog posts out there that will tell you the different photo sizes for all the social media accounts. And all you have to do is look at the properties of the photo you're trying to upload. It'll actually give you a pixel count. And if it says it's 45 by 45 pixels and you want to upgrade it or upload it to Instagram or I don't know what Instagram is. Do you know what it is by chance?
Yeah, the original 600 by 600. Since they now allow landscape and portrait and not perfect squares, they've got some other dimensions for that. But the default is 600 by 600 minimum.
And obviously, if you try and upload an image that's 45 by 45, hopefully it would block it. But if it doesn't, it's going to stretch it out and it's just going to look horrible.
Right. So in most cases, like if you're taking pictures, if you're doing Instagram on the fly, which I don't always recommend for businesses because then you tend to forget and you're not consistent. But your cell phone, the automatic settings should give you a high enough quality, good picture with enough lighting and autofocus. So the bare minimum is have the auto settings on and just make sure the picture is well lit and in focus.
All right, perfect.
So number 4 is hashtags, not using them correctly or not using them at all. A lot of how people get exposure on Instagram is through hashtags. People do hashtag searches and see what comes up in their feed. So you can get a lot of likes and interaction from people that don't even follow you, and you can pick up followers from that. But you want to be cautious. One, you don't want to not use them at all because then you're not going to come up in any searches, and that defeats the purpose. But you don't want to overuse them either because we've all seen the posts where every single word's a hashtag, and it's extremely annoying. Nobody wants to see that. So you want to make sure you have a cohesive strategy around hashtags. You're using ones that are relevant to your brand, to what you're posting. So don't hijack somebody's hashtag either, because I'm not trying to think the word. Total blank. Like it's not
cool. It's uncool. Not cool. It's totally uncool. Real quick, Sarah, Alex has a question as far as what the right balance is for hashtags.
The 10 to 20, it's the latest I read. About 12 is about the median average. If you can hit 12 hashtags. However, if you don't have 12 hashtags, don't just randomly find some. So, but if you have, like I tend to compile a list of possible hashtags for my brand from the clients that I do their Instagram for. I just have them in a Google Doc, and I've got them categorized by the different, like by geolocation, brand specific keywords, and some of the others that we've found that work really well for them. And so I'll pick and choose from those based on what we're posting.
Right. Okay, perfect. And the other thing is, if you're linking your Instagram to your Facebook, please don't overdo hashtags. That is so annoying. I get especially it seems the girls love the hashtag on Instagram and then link it to Facebook, and that's all. It's just, and it's like, different platform, people, different platform.
So the workaround for that a lot of people have done, if you are going to push your Instagram photos to Facebook, is not put a couple hashtags in the main post, and then put the rest of them as the first comment, because it still comes up in searches.
Okay, good.
So that's a way to split it so that you're not overloading hashtag on Facebook, but you can still get the hashtag searchability in Instagram.
Okay, perfect. And we got about 5 minutes left, and I lost count of how many.
Blow through these. So the next one is not posting consistently. If you're not consistent, your engagement drops because your people aren't going to go looking for your stuff. You're not going to get exposure to it. The consistency is the key for anything, especially in social media. If you've got to come up with something that you can stick with. If all you can commit to is one every other day, then commit to that and do it consistently.
Yeah, and if Instagram is your marketing tool for right now, don't worry about YouTube and Twitter and all the other ones. I would rather people do a really good job in one location than do a crappy job in 5 different locations.
Right. So and we caution that all the time. Pick one, do it really, really well and consistently, And then once you have a handle on that and you feel like you can take on another one, pick the next one and do it all baby steps, especially for small solo entrepreneurs, small business owners who are wearing 100 different hats already. So number 6 is not following your followers. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier with finding out what your customers and potential clients like. Is if they took the time to follow you, follow them back, because then they're also in your feed and you can see what they're posting, what they're interacting with, so you can get a sense of what they like and see if any of that can be incorporated into your strategy to appeal to them more. It's kind of, it's all part of the strategy.
Let me ask you this. I know on Twitter, I can actually go into my analytics and get an idea of what my people that follow me, what their interests are, what their likes, their buying habits, if they're gold card members or not. Are there any tools available for Instagram so you can actually see what your followers are posting?
So it's not native to Instagram, and this is the thing that kills me. I know it's there. They're owned by Facebook. We know it's there. It's just not live to the general public. But there are third-party tools you can use. Iconosquare is one that pops up a lot. That's got a lot of data for people, so you can go in. And it doesn't give you quite that much information, but it does give you your engagement, interest by your followers. It gives you best time to post, things like that, so you can refine your strategy. Iconosquare used to have a free report, and I think that might have gone away. So it's not a free tool, but they are one of the best tools out there for Instagram analytics.
Okay, perfect. And then we got 7 and 8.
Number 7, not proofreading. Get your grammar correct. Use Microsoft Word if you need to, and fix the red squiggly line and the green squiggly line at a minimum. Make sure you don't have misspellings. Make sure you're not missing punctuation, because that really makes you look unprofessional as a business owner if you are misrepresenting the English language or whatever your language is.
Right.
And number 8 is not engaging with your audience. This is the whole point of social, is being social. So engaging with your follower, the people that you are following. If people are following you or commenting on your pictures, engage with them, respond. This is huge in social media, and a lot of businesses don't do it. It's crazy how many times, how often have you tried to reach out to a brand in social media and you get crickets back? This is terrible. That's the whole point of social media, is to have, and it's an opportunity for you to give really good customer service as well, because they'll want to engage with you more if you're engaging with them, because it makes it more fun.
Right.
So that's our 8 things of mistakes to avoid on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. With that is today's show. Alex, we're going to hang around and do a Q&A once I guess I got to sign off at this point. So that is today's show on Social Media Wednesday. I don't know why I can't think of that. I almost went Internet Marketing Thursday again. And 8 tips on social media or Instagram, what not to do, essentially. We will be back here next week, same time, same computer, with some new great social media content. Sarah, as always, I appreciate the time and energy that you put into the show, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, Ryan. It's always a pleasure.
All right, everybody, take care. That's today's show.